Greetings, people of Earth, and welcome to the KiseCast After Hours, Episode 1. Oh boy, sorry for the goofy voice there. I've had a lot of coffee, and I'm annoying. A little informative intro before we start the episode. This show is going to be a little different than the incredibly entertaining KiseCast, hosted by Joshua, aka 7D Studios, and Rachel, aka Clouds Are Kisekai. While the KiseCast is more like a party and socializing podcast for the group, this is going to be a little more informative based and focused on one member of the community. And then we'll end the show with a fun little quiz segment for everyone to join. Well, not quite everyone. It's probably just going to be 3 people. And hey, we might not always do quizzes. Might do something else at the end. Some kind of community segment. But the important thing to remember about this show, guys, is that we are not going to be holding specific recording times. Since my schedule tends to bounce around and a lot of our community members live in different time zones, the recording of this show may jump from a Saturday afternoon to a Friday night or a Wednesday morning, whatever works for the starring guest. Which brings me to the first episode guest. Yay! I was super excited. Jesus, I've had a lot of coffee. I was super excited to sit down with the ever-talented Dengeki Matsuko. After listening to him on last Sunday's KiseCast, I was so pumped to get to talk to him. It was a fantastic interview, and I couldn't have asked for a nicer first guest, especially because this was my first interview, and I was incredibly happy that he was so patient with me, stumbling over my questions and trying to get the ball rolling on this whole podcast thingamadoo. Please, guys, check out his gallery at dengekimatsuko.deviantart.com, and if you look down at the doobly-doo description thingy here on YouTube, you'll find links to all of his YouTube videos, his Twitter account, his Tumblr, his Blogger accounts. Oh my god, like, follow, subscribe, do whatever, just check him out. Or as Dengeki himself would say,
follow me if you want to live.
Oh my god, it's Dr. Claw! Okay, I'm gonna shut up now and get the show going. Woo!
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
If you need chiptune music, I know exactly who to use.
Who's that?
Anna Monoguchi.
I see. I was thinking about that. They're amazing, but I've also heard a lot of people that use it on their podcasts. Like, I don't know if they're fans or rabid or what, but then they'll report that podcast and then they'll say, oh, hey, you don't have the permission to use this track, so we're going to pull this down from YouTube.
Content ID match.
Yes, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's automatic, isn't it?
Most part, yeah. I actually had a few of my videos that got content ID matched, and they just basically got blocked out.
Yeah, that must be what it is then. I figured it was probably their fans, but I guess it makes more sense that it's that ID match. Yeah, well.
It's broken. It needs to be fixed, and YouTube doesn't do that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of people complaining about that. But,
yeah. I know one in particular that got hit pretty hard.
Someone big or just like a friend?
Pretty big, yeah. He's a big guy.
Oh.
It's Angry Joe.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing his video where he was pissed about that.
Oh yeah, like he
bitter.
Where he got flagged for a bunch of music that he used that was actually royalty free.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, I mean, he's a reviewer for God's sake. So it's like, I mean, is it really that big of a deal? I mean, he uses copywritten video game footage, and has he ever used movie footage at all? I don't even remember.
A little bit on some of his movie reviews, but not much. Hardly any.
Exactly. Probably just stuff that's in the trailer, and And that's all over the place anyway, so it's just giving them publicity.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Something that you talked about on the KiseCast, and I heard it at the very beginning, so I figured maybe you guys were talking about it before the actual recording of the show, and that was that you've done voiceover work.
Yes.
Can you go into some more detail about that? Because, I mean, I had no idea that... well, first of all, great voice, for one thing.
Yeah.
Secondly, congratulations on having VO work. I mean, what all have you done?
Small projects, not really anything big.
Is this stuff like on YouTube?
I think one of them is on YouTube, on my brother's YouTube page. I don't think it's on there. He might have taken it down, but I can probably find it.
I was gonna say, if you can find anything, I can definitely add it to the description. And then the other thing that I need to get out of the way really quick is how exactly I'm going to pronounce your name, or if you want me to go with a different name. But I'm gonna take a stab at it. Is it Dengeki Matsuko?
That's right.
Hey!
Well, I know people that they have a hard time saying it. But it's like, it's okay. If you screw it up, that's fine. I don't care.
And then, is it cool to just call you Dengeki then?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, good to know, good to know. I wasn't sure if you preferred a different name, and that was just kind of an alias.
It kind of is an alias, but it's just to protect, just protect me. I'm not one to actually go public with my actual name.
Yeah, same here. That's pretty much what I do too.
A select few that I've met on the internet actually know my real name.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Yeah, it's no problem at all.
I think there was a few times I was streaming and I accidentally had my Facebook up and it was still set to my personal Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And someone saw my name on there. I'm like, oh, I know what your name is now. I'm like, oh, great.
I made that mistake when I first made my DeviantArt page. I put just a little bit too much info on there, and one of the users, who thankfully doesn't follow me anymore because I blocked him, he managed to get my real name, and he was talking about how he was looking for me on Facebook, and I was like, I don't have a Facebook anymore. But yeah, after that point, I blocked him because I was like, dude, no. Yeah.
I think I might know what the video is. I don't think he has it on this channel because he actually manages another channel called Sky Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Where he plays a whole bunch of video games, and he gathers up a whole bunch of his friends into a Skype call, and they just basically do commentary on the gameplay footage.
Oh, that's really cool.
I think compared to most video game videos I've seen, that's probably like one of the more original ones. I think there actually was a few episodes that he did for a few games where he basically just he was like literally playing while he was like speaking out as he was playing. But the majority of it is basically where he gets gameplay footage, puts it into an unlisted YouTube video, and just sends a link to everyone in the Skype chat. And then once we're ready, we start playing the video and watching it all at the same time, and just record and just do commentary.
Oh, okay, that's a pretty good idea. So it's usually like what, 4 or 5 of you?
I believe 5's the max. If you go any higher, it just becomes a big mess with everyone talking over each other.
That's really cool. I'm gonna have to check that channel out. I mean, anything new going on in your life, personally, that you're willing to talk about?
I lost my job.
Oh, no, really? I saw on your Twitter that things weren't really working out and that you had an interview for Toys R Us, I believe it was?
Yes.
How'd that go?
They turned me down.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, do you have any other leads, any other ideas that you might...
I did have an interview for a local computer company that they just build custom-made computers and fix computers called PC Laptops. I actually got an interview with them, but I haven't heard back from them for a while, and that was about a week and a half ago.
So right now you're just kind of in limbo?
Yeah, I actually got a few applications out for Costco, and I called one of the locations I applied at. They said they're not really looking for people, but they'll still keep my application on hand in case they do need to get more people.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one I called them, they said they just barely finished up during the first batch of interviews, and they'll be doing the second one probably sometime either, I think by the end of this month or so.
Very cool. They're a great company to work for. I've heard they have some really good benefits, too.
Oh, yes, they do. I mean, starting wage, I think, is like $11 an hour.
Jeez, that's very reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of jobs do you search for?
Or what I'm striving for is just something a bit out of my range, because for the most part, companies around here, especially just everywhere in the U.S., they want to see the biggest and the best, basically. And for me, I'm not the biggest and the best. Based on education and experience level, I'm considered to be the worst. But when it comes to personal experience, I'm the best.
Thankfully, there are some companies out there who they don't give a crap about education. Like, I got a job right out of college. It was for a guy who, he basically told me, like, look, I don't really care about your education. I don't really care about all of that. I need somebody to do this. So can you do this for me? And it was kind of like, well, maybe. And he just hired me and said, yeah, I'll give you a shot. And I stuck with that for about 5 or 6 months.
That's not what it's like where I live, because where I live, well, I guess I should say for where I used to live and where I live now. Where I used to live, which was Arizona, they do the hiring process a bit differently, because it's like they'd rather have people who have experience or are fresh out of school. Whereas the people in Utah, they'll pretty much hire anyone. If they don't meet what they expect, they just fire them on the spot.
Oh, man. That's kind of brutal, though.
But that's just Utah, though.
Yeah. Now, what area of Utah are you in?
Salt Lake.
Oh, okay. So you're in a big area, then.
Yeah, well, the area I'm in is actually kind of like the more, like, less populated area, because it's close by, like, it's at the very far west part of Salt Lake. So that's when like all the population starts to die down. It's weird to think that the area I'm in is actually less populated, where more people actually come from this area than anywhere else.
Wow. And then, do you have a car for transportation?
No, I don't drive.
You do bikes or take the transit?
I do transit. That's pretty much my only option right now, is to take the bus and the train.
So that kind of limits your options too.
Yep. I did have a bike, but when I was living at one of my old roommates, that actually was pretty close to downtown. I was riding my bike to one of my interviews, and while I was riding it, my bike tire just got caught, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? I kind of got off, and I looked at my back tire, and it was like completely warped.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? And just kind of like picked it up and started walking, and like, okay, this is going to be like excruciating just to carry this bike over to back home just to get it fixed. And it's like, you know what, I'm just going to leave it right here in the park, and I just kind of sit right next to a tree, and like, no one's going to steal it. And I walked back to my house, and I talked to my roommate. It's like, hey, do you think you could get the car so we can go get my bike? And I'm like, where's your bike? I'm like, I just left it at the park, the back tire's broken. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, he was expecting that my bike's already stolen and gone. We got there, it was still there, obviously.
Yeah.
He looked at the back tire, and it's just like, wow, what the hell did you do to your bike? And I'm like, I don't know. I just started running it, and then it just started looking all warped. I'm like, oh well, we'll just take it in. And I was gonna, like, what I was originally planning to do was to replace the back tire with an electric motor. So I guess you just basically replace the back rim with an electric motor, and I was just gonna do that so I don't have to pedal so much. But I never got around to that because it's like $250 for that thing.
Holy smokes! I've never heard of that before.
It's not a lot of people have it, but I have seen a few people that did have it when I was living in Arizona. But that's expected because the place I was living in Arizona, there's like a lot of hills.
Oh man, that would be tough.
Yeah. But then again, most people don't ride bikes where I was at because it was a huge infestation of goat horns. Goat
horns? What's that?
Goat horns, they're like the very thorny seeds.
Oh, okay. So they popped a lot of tires then.
Yeah.
Oh man. Wow. Well, I mean, have you considered trying to pursue voiceover work via the internet by just like, I don't know, putting out demo tapes or audition tapes or anything like that? I
did a few auditions when I was on the Voice Acting Alliance forums. And I actually had a few people that's like, yeah, I totally want you. I want you in for this. That's like this fan dub, or I want you in for this little inside project. And I'm like, okay. So I started voicing up some lines, and I sent them out to them. And then, like about a few weeks later, the projects would close down. I'm like, oh.
Since they're personal projects, they're kind of a little flimsy, a little on the fence. Then. Yeah,
a lot of them I actually tried auditioning for it, and I got the thing, and they just like, no, I can't do it because like other things come up, and so they had to close down the project. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm probably just gonna hold off on voice acting for now, but hopefully that's gonna come back soon. Because I actually have my brother who's doing kind of like an abridged series for an anime series, and he wants me to voice one of the characters in that series.
That's awesome.
I don't know if you've seen any of the recent animes.
No, I've kind of been out of the anime game for a while.
You probably have heard of it at least. It's called High School DxD.
Oh yeah, I have heard of it.
Yeah, my brother's doing he's doing an abridged series of it. And he wants me to voice one of Issei's, the main characters, one of his friends.
Very cool, man. So that'll carry you for a while in terms of doing some more voiceover work and getting kind of a portfolio under your belt.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that really inspired you to pursue doing voice acting? I mean, was it just kind of people told you, hey, you've got a really nice voice, and you just thought, yeah, I could use this?
I guess the thing that really got me into trying to attempt voice acting was way back when the first Shrek movie came out on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had a special edition on the DVD, which had some little bonus PC software that you can install on the computer if you just pop it into a computer with the DVD drive. And basically, what it did is that you can actually voice over lines on certain scenes from Shrek. And my brother and I used to do that all the time, and I thought it was hilarious. It was kind of like a one-time thing because when we actually lost that DVD because we just BS that happened with one of my sister's boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got another one, I was like, oh man, I really want to try doing that stuff again. I popped the DVD in and it didn't have the software. I'm like, well, that sucks.
Oh, I see. I could definitely see how that would inspire you to pursue that kind of career, though, or that kind of hobby at least, because it sounds like for right now it's more of a hobby for you.
It is. It's more of a hobby. It's just like with my artwork. That's more of a hobby too. But I've always wanted to try to make art, at least the artwork, into more of like a career or a profession, so I can actually, start making money and making a name for myself.
Have you ever thought about doing like some kind of a webcomic series or anything like that?
I actually have been. I was actually commissioned to do coloring for a webcomic series, but that was still back in like my early years when I was still kind of rusty. Like I was just still barely getting used to coloring. And then when it came to actually coloring a whole entire comic strip, I'm like, oh man, this is just gonna be brutal.
Yeah, I saw on your YouTube channel that you have some really good tutorials on, tutorials and just videos in general on coloring. So I will definitely put that in the show description to kind of give your channel some promotion too.
That'd be nice.
Now, I also saw that you just recently got the new Smash, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you liking that?
Well, I played Duck Hunt.
I didn't know there's a Duck Hunt minigame?
No, like the dog from Duck Hunt. You can actually play him.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. I haven't brushed up so far on the new Smash. I'm so jealous of everyone that gets to play it. I've kind of just been ignoring everything that's going on until I can afford a 3DS.
I think it's totally worth the price.
Is the dog from Duck Hunt, is that like your main character?
I feel like he is my main because I actually did a few matches on the ranked online matches, and like he was the only one. He's like the only character I actually do win matches with.
That's awesome.
I guess it's also because that like sometimes there's like this weird delay, and so I gotta have to compensate for that. And Duck Hunt Dog's like the only one I actually can compensate with because I wanted to pick back up Dr. Mario because he's back, and I always like playing Dr. Mario because I played the crap out of him on Melee, and then now he's back on this one, and it's like, oh, this is so cool. And then I start playing him, and like, yeah, he feels just like Melee but better.
That's good to know. I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, I actually played one match where I was going against a Bowser. And all he did was just dodge, grab me, and then just did his little body slam, then dodge, grab me, body slammed, and then he just kind of did that until I got to a high percentage and just do one of the smashes to take me out. And I couldn't do it because it's just, with the delay, playing with Dr. Mario, it's just really difficult to do it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people complain that, like, even though they have a really good internet connection, there's some sort of inexplainable lag that just kind of kills the online competitions.
Overall, for this one, it's actually gotten a lot better since Brawl.
Oh, that's good to know.
But I think it's just the fact that a lot of people, they don't really have the greatest internet in the world, and so they don't have... You get into a match with them, and then it starts lagging for you, too, even though you have a great connection.
Exactly. Now, are there any other games that you're really hyped about right now?
Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
See, now, I've never jumped on the Monster Hunter bandwagon.
It's a mixed bag. You like it or you don't.
I think that I would like it. See, there's some games out there that I personally have avoided because I know that if I play it, I'm going to get addicted to it, and then I will put my life on hold just for the game. And that's a huge problem for me, especially in the past. So that's one reason that I definitely have not touched Monster Hunter yet, but I know I would like it.
For you to actually get into Monster Hunter is that you got to push with the fact that the game is brutally difficult. You just got to persevere and just keep going. Yeah, well, once you actually get in tune with the difficulty, the game is a blast.
I may have to give that a shot then. And this is the one that's on 3DS, right?
Yeah, this is the 3DS. It used to be exclusively for the PSP, but then I guess Capcom's like, oh, hey, let's migrate to the 3DS for some reason.
Since all of Japan has a 3DS.
it makes the controls a lot easier with the dual screens, because with the PSP you have to like learn how to be like ambidextrous with your left hand to use the analog stick and the D-pad, because like it used the D-pad for moving the camera around, where you use the analog stick to move around. The L and R buttons where you like use the L button for like you hold it to cycle through your items. You use the R button to run.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
So it made it a little difficult to use it with the PSP. But now what they put on the 3DS with the touchscreen, it made camera movement a lot easier, and also the fact that they actually gave you a lock-on feature, so you can lock onto the large monsters, and it's so much easier. But still, the game is still pretty hard.
Now, I've been reading a lot about the new 3DS that's coming out too, and how that is. I don't think it's made specifically for Monster Hunter or the newest Monster Hunter, but that it's supposed to help with the flow of the game, and there are more buttons on there for Monster Hunter, and I think it was another game that they were promoting, like just for this new 3DS.
It was a 3DS port of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
And the thing that made a lot of people pissed off about it is that it's only available. It can only work on the new 3DS. It won't work on original 3DSs.
Yeah, that's a little shitty.
It's because they upgrade the CPU on the new 3DS.
Oh, I see. So faster processor and all that good stuff.
Yep.
I see. So, kind of rolling into DeviantArt, I was curious, like, what actually got you into DeviantArt? Not quite with the, and I apologize to anyone listening, and I apologize to you if I'm saying Kisekai wrong. I'm just taking a stab in the dark as to how you exactly pronounce it. I have no idea.
It's a potato thing. It's either Kiseke or Kisekai. Either way works.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured too. But what exactly got you into DeviantArt, and what made that transition from, what you were originally doing to using Kisekai? I
guess when I first started using DeviantArt, which was 8 years ago, that was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was still doing the coloring back then, but I wasn't coloring drawings. I was basically creating wallpapers.
Oh, okay.
Like just like basic backgrounds for people to use. It's just like a static background, just have it look cool on their desktop. And
I see.
As that transitioned, it started going to like actually coloring drawings, and I just kind of worked on that. And the program I was originally using was called Adobe Photo Deluxe, which was like the precursor to Photoshop.
Mm-hmm.
And I just used that to color drawings. And then one of my like actual personal friends that I met, he said he had some skill in actually using Photoshop, and he wanted to show me how to do it. It's like, oh, cool. And so he taught me how to do Photoshop. And ever since then, I've just been using Photoshop.
So that is definitely your number one tool used for all your stuff on DeviantArt.
Pretty much.
Yeah, very nice. Now, do you use a tablet? I'm just curious.
No.
So you use everything by mouse?
Mouse and keyboard.
I bought a tablet strictly for use with Photoshop, and I also use a couple of other programs that are kind of like Photoshop alternatives, and I bought a Wacom tablet just to kind of make stuff for DeviantArt, and I cannot, for the life of me, use a Wacom tablet at all. I can't do it.
I tried using tablets. My brother had one, and I tried using it for trying to do some coloring. At first, it's like, I think I can do this, and then I started to try and get more like serious about it. I'm like, wait, I can't do this.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. I used it for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 pieces, and I just could not, for the life of me, I could not use it. I don't know, it's just there's this weird delay from, where you're writing on this small tablet to the canvas on the computer. My brain couldn't make the connection, I guess. I don't know.
I guess it's like you have to train your brain to do something like that, and it just didn't really work for me.
Yeah, practice makes perfect, but man, I tried so many times and I could not make that thing work. So then you made a kind of a transition from doing the coloring work, and I saw that you even have some stories on there. Do you like to write, or was that just kind of I'll give it a shot kind of thing?
I did enjoy writing, because I've been told that I actually do have a very high proficiency when it comes to just English.
Mm-hmm.
The best way I can say this is that I actually went and took an assessment test when I was trying to go into college, and based on what I did for English, I was basically supposed to be in college level for all my English classes.
Oh, really?
So I figured it's like, okay, well, we'll just take that knowledge I have about English and just grammar structure and all that, and just write stories, and so that's what I did. but a lot of them is kind of the smut type.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that people actually do like it. Mainly, I guess it's mainly because I like to write stories with cliffhangers, and so a lot of the stories I have pretty nasty cliffhangers.
So what made that that change? And I remember you talked about this a little bit on the KiseCast. Your transition over to using Kisekai.
I guess I did the transition to using Kisekai, as I said on the KiseCast, is I just wanted to actually create actual drawings of my characters that I made, but I don't know how to draw. I can't draw, and so I just like trying to figure out like, well, I just ask people to do request drawings of my characters, and I feel like I was just kind of using them, and I don't like doing that. And so it's just like, okay, well, is there something I can use, like a doll maker or something I can use to make characters? And I've been using a whole bunch of different doll makers, and none of them didn't really seem like all that great because they didn't have the diversity that Kiseke has. I saw one of my friends, he'd uploaded a picture that had Kisekai on it. It had the Kisekai creation. I'm like, wait, how'd you make this? And he's like, oh, here's the link for it. And he gave me the link, and I started messing around with it. I'm like, wait, this is actually really cool. I can actually make my characters now.
Yeah, that was the big drive for me too. Was, you know, I liked to draw. I still enjoyed drawing, and I've drawn for so long. But it's, for me, it was kind of like a time issue. Like, I don't really have the time to draw anymore, and I'm painfully critical, hypercritical of everything that I draw. So I would have these characters that I wanted to show the world, like characters that I had in my mind, but I couldn't. Like, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But then when I found Kisekai, it was like, okay, you know, well, here are these 3 characters that I've always wanted to do. And then once you start one, it's like you just can't stop. And I've noticed that on your gallery, you have a lot of bios for characters that you've created.
26.
Yeah.
And I still have more coming too.
I drew a lot of inspiration from your gallery in terms of, you know, making an in-depth bio. Because like when I first started off, it was just kind of like, oh, well, here's this character, and I don't think anyone really cares, but this is their name, and probably nobody cares, but this is their age. But when I saw your bios, like, you went more in depth, and I thought, this is awesome, because this makes you kind of have a connection. You can find these things that you have in common with your characters, or people can make those connections. And so I drew a lot of inspiration from your work for doing like in-depth bios of the characters.
There was an author that I can't remember which author it was, but he basically had a quote saying that any character that a person creates is usually just basically part of them taken away from them and created into a character. So basically saying that every character that you create is actually just a part of you.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. Like a large majority of the characters that are in my gallery, I mean, they're basically a product of somebody that I've met in my life, or something that had happened in my life, and then thus I created this character. I know there are some other people in our community that, like, they have a character who's really dark and kind of scary, and when you talk to them about that character, it's like, oh yeah, I made that when I was kind of in a dark place in my life.
I think I do have one character that I haven't really actually gotten open with, because I was trying to like lure people to go check out my other websites, because I do like Blogger, Facebook, and Tumblr, and I started doing and then recently started doing Google Plus, obviously. And I actually made like a Tumblr exclusive character. Like it was exclusive to Tumblr for like a good maybe like year and a half, until I just like, oh, I'll put it on DeviantArt now so I can have everyone see it. I guess I made that character because I do have kind of this a part of me that actually does enjoy vampires. And I just kind of applied on one of my fetishes with the vampire aspect, so that's where I went to.
So I'm gonna get this out of the way too, and that is, and it's obviously it's no secret that a lot of the guys that use this program, I mean, obviously, yes, they use it for sexual things. I mean, that it's kind of a no-brainer. So, you know, and that's one thing that I do want to talk about on this podcast. And it's not necessarily to say like, oh, hey guys, let's start talking about tits. It's nothing like that, you know. But it is kind of, in a way, I want to kind of explore the sexual aspect to what a lot of us create. And you in particular, you and I share kind of this, I don't want to make it sound perverse and disgusting or anything, but I mean, we do share this common breast enthusiasm. And I catch a lot of shit from people on DeviantArt who send me nasty messages talking about, oh yeah, you know, I look through your gallery and it's nothing but you objectifying women with big breasts. I mean, do you ever catch any of that crap on DeviantArt?
I guess I don't, because I actually have created characters that don't actually have, you know, they don't have the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't really get that crap because I actually have a bit of diversity in my characters.
Yeah, I did that too after I caught a lot of flack from people.
I got some weird background music going on right now. Hold on a sec. I got my Winamp loaded up right now and just playing some background music.
Oh, sure.
Changing the track. Because I was playing Castlevania music and then just not really in the mood for Castlevania right now.
Yeah, I fully intend on using like a lot of classic Castlevania, and like because it is gonna the second segment's gonna be a little Halloween focused. I'm gonna use a lot of Halloween-esque music, so it'll be some Castlevania mixed in with some Doom, mixed in with some Silent Hill. So I'm gonna have all those kind of backing tracks behind this, and then the next segment too.
If I want to make a suggestion, get Symphony of the Night soundtrack music.
Oh god, it's so good.
Because that soundtrack's amazing.
Yes, it is. I'll probably use a majority of that, and the Super Castlevania. I also really like that soundtrack as well.
Yeah,
mainly because that was like the first Castlevania that I got hooked.
For me, I think it was Dawn of Sorrow that I started playing Castlevania, and then I started like, I want to play some of the earlier ones, and then I started playing Symphony of the Night, and then I kind of like, let's go earlier, and I played the original Castlevania on the NES, and holy crap, this is hard.
Yeah, they are brutally hard. I think that's why I liked Super Castlevania so much, was because even though it was really challenging, I was able to, that was the first Castlevania that I was able to beat. I still can't beat the first three.
That was with me too, because I think Castlevania 4 was actually the first one of the older series that I actually could beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had this slightly, I don't want to say it was easy, because it's not easy,
no,
but it definitely had a little bit of a more lenient learning curve. You know, you could pick it up, you'll die a lot, you'll use continues, but then like you can pick it right back up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I felt too. But I think if there was one part I actually died the most, which is actually pretty expected, is when I was fighting Dracula.
Oh god,
that's
yeah,
probably when I died the most, because when he goes second form and he does all that lightning, that's just when I like, oh crap, this is gonna be hard.
Yeah. If you don't have a full bar of health for that second fight, it's pretty much you're gonna die. Like, you can't make it.
Well, at least I knew about the secret before you enter the castle.
Oh yeah, to get all the extra items
and have it get all the hearts, the boomerang cross, and then you get the triple shot.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know, actually, I never learned that back when I used to play it, and the first time that I ever saw it was on the Angry Video Game Nerd.
That was the same with me too.
After I saw that, I was like, "You've got to be shitting me!" That was there the whole time, and I had no idea. Like, even after all these years of being able to use game facts and the times that I would go back and replay it, I still had no idea. But anyway, kind of going back to the Kisekai stuff, you know, I also feel like one of the nice things with the community is that there's this sort of subcategory, is what I guess I'll say, of the community, which is probably a bigger part of the community, and that's with the trans, the transforming, transgender, the expansion, the, like, you know, there are all these sort of taboo fetishes, and you know, they have like this little place that they call home within the community where not a lot of people pass judgment on them, and I think that's great. Like, even if it's not my cup of tea, I don't mind seeing all this stuff on DeviantArt. And I saw that you have a few pieces as well in your gallery.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm a very liberal person. I grew up like in a really strict Christian household, very conservative. So like when I was growing up, that kind of stuff would have been like, whoa, that's crazy to me. But once I got into college and met a lot of new people, and especially making a lot of gay friends, like, it definitely changed my perspective on things. Just sex in general changed my perspective to where I was like, hey, you know, whatever floats your boat, that's awesome. Like, to me, in my opinion. And so, like, I don't pass judgment on anybody for their, whatever their sexual fetishes are. But where I kind of overstep my boundaries sometimes is I'm intrigued by it. I want to know more about, what got you to that point? This is really fascinating to me.
Yeah.
What got you into, especially with the expansion stuff? Because that's actually something that I had never seen before coming into DeviantArt.
I honestly don't really remember how I got into it. I think it's just something I just kind of stumbled in and just oh, this is interesting. I wonder how this happened, and then I got even deeper and deeper into it, and just discovered more artwork about it, and it's just great. I guess this is how it is. It's just I discovered it and thought it was interesting, and just kept going on it.
I'm kind of the same way. I mean, in terms of some of the stuff that I'm into, and then also with like I said, a large part of the community is the sort of transforming part of the community, which there are some users on there that, they have thousands of views. I saw that you have a couple of pieces where you have a guy who has been transformed into a girl.
Yeah.
Is that just kind of like an explorative idea, or is that something that, it's just, oh, hey, I find this fascinating, so that's why I'm doing it?
I guess it's more of a mix of I want to see what this guy would look like if he was a girl, and it's also the fact that I got inspiration from the anime Ranma 1/2.
Oh, okay. I never thought of that before.
Well, that's where the first part of it came from, was just watching Ranma 1/2, and that's where I got the interest. So it's an anime about a guy who's cursed that turns into a girl when he hits cold water. I wonder what that would be like for a bunch of other guy characters, and just what would they look like if they were girls. And I actually started watching another anime called To Love Ru, where in the OVA they actually had the main guy actually get transformed into a girl a few times, and so that's
really cool.
that's actually really interesting. And I like it how I like to see what other artists will respect other male characters on what they will look like if they were a girl, and that's what really got my interest. And I think I actually have more interest in that than I do with the expansions.
That's actually really cool. I had never thought of that before, and I've never really asked anybody, because I never really want to feel like I'm impeding on personal space, but it's one of those things that, I'm so curious about it, and I just want to learn more. And I think that a lot of the pieces are actually really cool. There are some users on DeviantArt who I see their work, and it's like, wow, okay, so they took this, normally schlubby-looking guy, and they suddenly turned them into this, really sexy or really cute girl. And I thought, wow, that's really cool, but where did they get the idea to do this?
There actually is one character that I find to be probably the most complicated with his transformation. Is, what was it, Elvira, or as he's originally named, Ein.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at that, the blonde, right?
Yeah, the one that's the blonde businesswoman. In this case, a businesswoman. I guess the thing that makes him really complicated with his transformation is that he was transformed because of another character, which is Danilia, as I call the immortal sorceress, went back in time, and so we're putting time travel into the equation right here. And usually, time travel is not really a thing you don't want to fickle with.
True.
So because it's just so complicated, and I'm putting in time travel into the equation of him being transformed. Because I've always been interested in time travel and just the concept of it, and what will happen if you go back into the past and destroy this? What will happen into the present or the future?
Oh, same here. Have you ever watched Primer?
No. I guess the only movie I actually enjoyed that was time travel was pretty obvious, Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, of course. That's one of the most amazing films ever.
Probably the best classic.
Oh yeah.
Time. I used to have Blu-ray of all three movies, but I had to sell that one.
Yeah, the Back to the Future trilogy and the original Ghostbusters are easily my top. Well, I mean, not the entire trilogy. I still like 2 and 3 a lot, but the original Back to the Future and Ghostbusters are easily my 2 favorite movies that I could, as soon as I come home, I could put those movies on as background noise, and I'm happy. I just need them playing. That's how much I love those.
With me. When I got the Blu-ray copy of the whole trilogy, my parents and I just kind of did a marathon of all 3 movies, and I thought that was awesome.
I'm really fond of the second one, and I know the third one catches a lot of flack, but I actually really liked the third one. When I was growing up, I watched it a lot. So I don't know if it's kind of a nostalgia thing for me, and that's why I like it so much, or I guess in a sense I'm blinded by nostalgia for a lot of things. I still love playing old Nintendo games and I love mostly 80s movies, so...
I guess the best way to describe it is with how AVGN described it when he did the reviews for the Back to the Future movies. He actually basically stated that the first one revolves around Marty, the second one revolves around Biff, while the third one revolves around Doc.
I completely forgot the AVGN did that.
I think I said fifth instead of third.
That's okay.
Don't worry, I know how to count my 1, 2, 5s.
So, kind of going back on the whole time travel thing, I mean, is that something that you don't want to go in too depth with your characters and with your storyline, or is it something that you kind of want to start putting more into your characters?
I actually do want to put more effort into it, but as I said, time travel is kind of a complicated theory, so it's really hard to actually incorporate to something like that, because you got to take into account, like if you do this, it's like more than just one thing's going to happen.
That's true.
But hey, that's just me dabbling with the space-time continuum.
Have you kind of backed away from using Kisekai? Have you slowed down using it? I mean, do you see yourself using it even more?
I just using it as like a medium for stuff I actually want to create, but I know I just don't either don't have the money or the sales to actually create it myself, so I just like, if I want to create something, I just go on Kisekai and just mess around. A lot of the times with the creations I've been doing are just like basically like revamps of all my characters, because I actually am working on a few revamps because I actually lost all my saves because I had to reinstall Windows and I forgot to back up all the saves or at least get the export codes.
Yeah.
So I've learned from my mistakes, and I actually got one of my characters. I was Catalina. I just got her remade, and I copied the export code to her tax document for her profile, so I still have it. So if I lose the save, I still got the export code.
Yeah, that is definitely. If I could pass along any words of advice to the listeners, it is definitely do not just save on the game. Like, actually copy your exports and save them on something separate, because at some point you're going to lose everything. And man, I did that one time and I lost all of my work. I had to transition because my PC died, and then I ended up having to buy a laptop. And having to go back and remake everybody, it was so deterring that I couldn't muster the energy to go through and actually redo everything.
That's a problem with me because of my ADHD. I just kind of tend to lose focus too easily if I'm not interested into it, and it's just I felt like it was a chore because of me having to redo everything. It's just like, I don't want to do this, so I just close out and do something else. Yeah,
that's exactly what I went through too. I have ADHD, and like it was really tough going through with it when I was in school, when I was younger. But like I've kind of grown out of a little bit of it. I don't know if I've just kind of adapted. But yeah, in terms of situations like that, or like if I have a story that I really want to carry through, sometimes, I get on the computer and I'm just like, wow, I just can't focus on this at all. Like I want to do it, but I don't have the motivation for today. And I'm sure it drives, like, some of the people that like my work, I'm sure it drives them nuts because I haven't uploaded anything in like a month.
It's kind of how I was feeling with me, because like there would be like some moments where I'll color some drawings, and I'll like have like 10 or 20 drawings colored for that 1 month, and then another month I'll have like not even one drawing colored.
Yeah, I pretty much go through the same cycles.
Although now I guess what the fact is that before when I still had my job, I just didn't have the time to do it, so I just didn't really bother with it. But now, since I don't really have my job, I just feel like that I have more time to do it, so I'll be more willing to actually get a lot more done. I actually did get one color drawing done. I actually was editing the video because I actually streamed it last night.
Mm-hmm.
But no one really came. But that's expected because I'm not really that open when it comes to getting viewers from my streaming. But at least I got the recording of it, so I can get it all edited out for YouTube and put it up down there.
Well, hopefully we can get you some more views on your YouTube videos.
Oh, that would be nice. I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. I got my friend watching the movie right now.
No worries. If anything, I can try to edit some of it out. So one thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of a critical topic, because I've seen on some people's work, they get attacked for it. I've been attacked for it in the past. I don't really get it anymore. And that is, do you consider Kisekai to be art?
I'm on the fence on that, because a part of me says yes, it can be art if you actually do put forward effort and creativity into creating whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I'm seeing, yes, there's a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people that put a lot of focus and creativity into creating these pieces from Kisekae.
Mm-hmm.
And then another part is me saying that, yeah, it's just a typical doll maker, so of course it's not considered art because a lot of people assume that you don't take effort to it. It's simple. You don't need to draw anything. You don't need to color anything. You just put stuff together and call it art.
Right.
But I'm kind of leaning more towards just saying that yes, it is art because there actually are people that actually do take a lot of focus and creativity in making these pieces.
Right, and I agree. And to me, the way that I look at it sometimes is that, you know, if I read a story and I develop a character in my mind, you know, I have no visual representation of what that character looks like. I'm just going off of what that person is describing. For me, I like reading people's stories and some of the comics that they're creating of their characters. For me, it is art because they're taking their mental representation of, okay, this is how I envision this character, and even though it is on a doll maker, you know, they are making this representation and they're breathing life into this character. And so to me, I've always kind of gone on the defense of, well, to me it is art. And, you know, obviously it's all opinion based. You know, one person's perspective of art may not be that other person's perspective. So whenever I go on the defense about it and I tell people, well, you know, in my personal opinion, it is art, and in your personal opinion, it's not art. We're never going to agree on things. You know, let's end it at that. But I mean, considering the fact that DeviantArt haven't gone on the ban hammer and started canceling out all these Kisekai accounts, and it's just growing and growing. You know, I don't understand why people get so defensive about, you know, this isn't art, but you raise up a really good point. You know, people look at it as it's just a doll maker. There's no effort.
They don't really see the big picture that people who actually do use this actually use it with other stuff rather than just making characters. They actually use it for other pieces and other work. Like for me, when I used I did the animations and the profiles, and I've seen other people that actually take and edits and put in and actually edit it out to actually put in stuff that you don't actually see in the program at all.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Of all the work that you've done, and you have a pretty big gallery, is there any specific piece that you've made that has kind of a special place in your heart?
It is kind of a hard thing for me to say because a lot of the stuff I've made I actually do all of them I do hold a place in my heart, but it's just really hard to actually find one that I truly like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess if there was anything I actually truly liked that I always hold a place in my heart is the group picture I did of all of my characters in one picture. I find that one to be my favorite because that's probably the one I took the most time in, because I had to make each character individually and properly, made them transparent. And I think this is like before the time that you can actually make screenshots and make them transparent on Kisekae. And so it made it a little bit difficult because I actually had to just screenshot them like the old-fashioned way by doing print screen and all that.
Yeah,
and then
I remember those days.
had to put it in Photoshop and then have to erase the background to make them transparent. So I put a lot of work into it, and just the fact that I have so many characters to boot, that that's probably the reason why I like it, because it actually showcases every single creation I've made, and it's all in one picture.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that you know, a lot of the newer users, you know, that are walking into this, they have all of these extra tools in place, whereas like yourself and me and several other users who were, you know, we've been using this thing for now 2 years, ongoing 2 years. Like back in those days, you had to use just a print screen, and you had like very few selections on things to do, and it was a lot more difficult back then. And I'm kind of the same way. I take a lot more pride in the stuff that I did when I first started making pictures, because it was more time consuming. There was a lot more kind of cliche, but there was more blood, sweat, and tears put into that work. So that stuff that I made back then is a little more special to me than the stuff I make now.
The blood, sweat, and tears is actually kind of a good analogy for it, because I know there's actually been, like, the blood, probably not as much, but I guess it could work for me, because there's a lot of times where I actually I go on the computer for so long messing around with Kiseke, and then my wrist starts to hurt, and then it gets to the point where I actually have the skin start peeling off and start bleeding a little bit.
Oh my god, man.
So I guess that actually could apply, but only to in a very minor case.
Sure.
The sweat, yeah, I guess that could work if you actually live in in my condition. When I was in Arizona, I actually was living in the garage in the middle of summer, so I had no air conditioner. So yes, sweat does apply to me.
Yeah, that definitely factored in.
As for the tears, that doesn't apply to me, but probably with the fact that there actually is emotion within the community, especially with what I heard on the KiseCast, when that the member Coin, I believe it was her name, where she basically left and she was never going to come back, and actually made someone in the group cry, and I'm like, wow, I never knew that this community can actually have such an impact on other people.
Yeah, it's pretty astounding how so many people have developed pretty strong friendships just within our community. I mean, like, I don't have really any affiliation with any other groups outside of the Kisekai community, and I feel like I've made really good friends just through this one group, and we are so close-knit, and we're so accepting of other people that, I don't know, it's almost something that, and I think Joshua can attest for. I mean, we kind of take pride in it. We take pride in the fact that so many people can come in, and we all have kind of open arms to the people, you know, and a lot of them will say, well, I'm shy, I don't really want to talk to other people in the community. But like, once they start getting the ball rolling and they submit a couple of things into your group, it's like, that's all it takes, and then suddenly they have, you know, you can just watch their watch numbers climb day after day. They gain a new watcher, and it's always people being so positive and so supportive. That's the other crazy thing. Like, the internet is a vile place, and there's so much hate, and there's so many trolls, and you come to this part of the community, and we do have some people who are, you know, they make some negative comments here and there, but for the most part, everybody is just, they're so welcoming, and they're so kind to each other. It's really crazy. And Coin, I mean, she was basically one of the nicest people in the community. Like, I didn't really know her that well. I didn't talk to her a whole lot, but she made an abundant amount of friends online, and just in our group. And it was pretty amazing to see the impact that her leaving had on the group, especially on the KiseCast, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
There are some people who, and I kind of put myself in this wheelhouse, we're a little too close to our creations. We're a little too protective of our characters. Do you ever feel that way about the characters that you create? Like I'm to the point where I'm kind of almost obsessed with one of my characters, almost in a loving sense, you know? I mean, have you ever felt that way about something that you've created, about a character specifically?
Would cosplay count?
Yeah, we could go with that.
Because I actually have been planning to do cosplays of a few of my characters.
That's awesome, actually.
And I think it's because I got the idea of doing cosplay of my original characters.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got the inspiration from someone that was on the website cosplay.com. He actually gave me some advice because I have a whole bunch of cosplays I really wanted to do, but most of them are basically cross-dressing cosplays, and that's kind of a touchy subject, mainly with the fact of where I'm living, because it's Utah. It's very heavily religion populated, and so a lot of them are like, oh, if you're cross-dressing, then you're damned to hell.
Oh yeah, I've heard that crap.
That's why it's always been kind of a touchy subject for me with doing the cross-dressing for cosplay. But I come to realize that there actually is a lot of guys that actually do stuff like this, and most of the time they're not too worried about it. They just kind of like, whatever, it's what I want to do. They don't matter.
Right, exactly. Well, I personally know one of my best friends. His brother is a drag queen, and his brother performs here in my city, and any time that he performs, he doesn't perform often. It's usually once every month or once every other month, and I'll happily go to the gay bar with my buddy, and we'll cheer him on. And to me, it's like there is something that he's passionate about, and because he's passionate about it, and he wants to put it on, and he wants to do a show. Essentially, it's not just a show to like, oh, I just want to make some money here. I'm going to do this show. I'm going to dress up. He takes pride in it. It's something that he wants to do. It's something that he loves. And when he is wearing it, he feels like he is, walking on clouds.
That actually kind of reminds me of the comedian Eddie Izzard.
Oh, exactly.
Because like he actually cross dresses, but he just does it just to do it. He doesn't he doesn't have an actual motive. He just does it because he feels like it. And I think there was actually one interview I saw where he was actually talking when someone asked him why do you buy women's dresses, and I'm like, no, it's not women's dresses. They're my dresses. No one else bought them but me, so they're my dresses.
Exactly. Yeah, Eddie Izzard is not only amazing, but he is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Love Eddie Izzard.
Because cake or death.
And he can walk really well in heels. I'm impressed by how well he can walk in heels.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love him. A non-platonic way.
Exactly.
This guy I met on the cosplay.com. I try to remember I know his name had like Sephiroth in it. I can't really remember, but he actually did a few cosplays where he actually was cosplaying a bunch of his original characters, which were female, and he cross-dressed and actually made suits for them and everything because a lot of them were kind of like a odd skin colored, like blue and black and all that. And it's like, I want to do this too. I want to do it with my characters, and I actually started working on doing Freja and Mihaki. Those are the two I've been working on right now. Oh,
so you're actually working on 2 cosplay outfits at the
same
time.
I'm probably gonna do Freja first because that's probably gonna be the one that's gonna be the most difficult because of all the stuff I need to get for her. Like I actually have a few things sit on my wish list on Amazon, and one of them is like a corset that's like all steampunk style and rugged, and I'm like, oh, I totally gotta get this. This is perfect. But the only problem is that the damn thing's like $100.
Yeah, corsets are expensive.
Especially this one because it's stylized to be steampunk.
That's really cool.
But overall, that's probably probably going to be the only thing that's expensive. I guess like the accessories, like quote unquote accessories I need to get, are probably going to be a bit more. Like I think last time I checked, I'm probably going to have to spend about $120, $130 for those things.
Holy smokes!
Those are the fakies.
Oh yeah, the cutlets.
Although I already have a set, but they're not the ones I'm looking for because it's just them. That's it. But this one, it's like it pretty much covers up pretty much the top part of your torso, and that's the one I need.
Oh, so is it actually like kind of like a tube top then? Like you'll wear, like it'll wrap around your body and then give you the shape?
Sort of.
Oh, okay.
Well, because like when I first bought the other falsies I have, they didn't have them. They didn't have the ones that cover up your top part of your torso. So I was like, oh man, this is kind of bummed out because like these could work, but they would only work if I'm like wearing actual clothing that covers them up. But with the cosplay for Freja, I'm gonna have to show off a bit, and so I was like, okay, so I probably should get this and then should work because it only comes past out to almost to the shoulders, and that's how far it goes, and like that's all I need. I just needed to cover up just right where it cuts off in the shoulders.
I see.
Because the corset I was actually planning to get, it actually stops where I needed to stop, just like right before the shoulders. It's like, man, this is perfect. I love this. And as for Mihaki, I'm just kind of planning out to make her like I'll just basically do like the dress up of her when she was because like in her story, she's like in college doing her culinary arts degree, and I just kind of like, well, I'll just get like a school uniform and just kind of go by there, and it seems pretty standard. I'll probably just do that instead.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty easy route to go. Now, do you have any conventions that you go to that you could wear your outfits to?
We actually have a convention that's local here called Anime Bonsai. It's actually going to be starting here in a few weeks. That's why I'm trying to get at least one cosplay done. It's not going to be original character. It's probably going to be from an anime that I'm working on because it's going to be a little bit easier. Because like I don't need to worry about getting the other falsies where it covers up your whole entire the top part of your torso. Like I can just use the ones I already have, so I can take that off and it'll save me a lot of money. Because like as of right now, I only need like probably 4 things. I need the wig, the shirt, jeans, and a brown briefcase or suitcase. Now,
have you found the right wig that you're looking for? Because I've heard that can get pretty tough to find.
Yes and no, but at least I have a sister that does cosmetology, so she can help me stylize it.
Hey, there you go. Perfect.
And it works because like the convention that I have to go to is actually just it's actually a few miles away from Salt Lake, up north.
Mhm.
And it's actually in the city that my sister lives in, so I can just like swing by there. And it's like, hey, can you stylize this for me for my cosplay? It's like, she's like, yeah, sure. And so,
That'll be perfect then.
and I just want to know how awesome my sister is. She's Wiccan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was really good friends with a Wiccan. She moved here from Australia. She's originally from Perth, and unfortunately, things didn't work out with her visa, and she had to leave. She was quite possibly the sweetest girl I've ever met in my entire life, and she caught so much shit from people because she would proudly admit that she was Wiccan. And people would be like, oh, I don't understand it, therefore I don't like it, you know?
People kind of dismiss Wiccan because it's like, oh, witchcraft, so you're evil. And it's like, no, Wiccan is actually just a derivative of paganism.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And it's actually kind of like the complete opposite of what people are misconceptioning it. It's basically where you value your life, you value other people's lives as you would value yours.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always this philosophy where if you do wrong to others, wrong will happen to you as well.
No, I completely agree with that methodology too.
Although that's kind of similar to karma.
Yeah, but
it has a bigger understanding towards it when you actually know what Wiccan's all about.
well, that's really awesome. Your sister sounds really cool, man.
Yeah, she is. I mean, a lot of the choices that she's done I don't approve of, but overall she's not that bad. Because like I think out of all my family members, she was probably the first one that I actually came open to actually presenting like, yeah, I want to actually cosplay female characters. And she's like, sure, okay, I'll help you with makeup and hairstyling. Like, really? Like, yeah, I don't care. I'll still help you. Like, cool.
That's awesome. I love to hear that when a family member is accepting of something like that.
Like,
If it makes you happy, you know?
Well, I think the second person that then again, it was unintentionally came open to the as I call it, cross-playing.
Mm-hmm.
Was my
nice.
mother. Yeah, that's what the official term is cross-playing.
That's awesome.
But the second person that I actually came open to, which was unofficially, was actually my mom.
How did she take it?
The funny thing is that I actually was preparing the dress up for one of my crossplays, and I was using the falsies, and they actually have this like sticky adhesive that's just supposed to like stick onto you, so you don't need to worry about any like bras or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the way to keep the sticky adhesive, is to like wash it with like warm water and soap, and you don't dry with the towel. You gotta let it air dry. Mm-hmm. And I had it air drying overnight, and then my mom came to my room to wake me up, and she saw them just kind of sitting there, and she's like, "What's these?" I'm like, "Oh great, I forgot about those." And I just told her, it's like, I use them for cosplay, just as casually as I can. And she's like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Very cool. So it didn't bother her at all.
No, and it's actually quite surprising because I was actually raised in a very heavy religion family.
That's fantastic. Very cool, man. I'm happy to hear that your family has been accepting of it.
Yeah.
Now, are they the only ones that know, or do you?
Oh, I actually have a few friends that know about it too.
Yeah.
Because I think a few of my friends I actually they asked me, why do I want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And I just told them, like, because my body's at a unique shape, because I actually do have a slim waist. Last time I measured it was 29 inches.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
5'7", maybe 5'7.5".
Wow.
So I'm not very tall compared to the national average. I'm actually pretty short.
Yeah, you've got a thin waist.
Yeah, I do.
So you pretty much you have the curves then to pull the figure up, and the corset is just that's gonna help you even more.
Oh yeah, no, that's what a lot of, because I actually did, like, they didn't believe me. It's like, okay, what's to actually measure this? They gotta take measure and put it around my waist. And I'm like, holy shit, you're right.
I was gonna say, I think I was like a 32 in middle school, so
No.
that's impressive.
I think I was like 27 when I was in high school.
Jeez.
But I guess it's just because I have a fast metabolism, so I kind of just don't really stay fat that much. And when I do, it's usually just like gone within an instant.
Yeah, people like myself who have the slow working metabolism and gain weight just looking at a brownie, we don't like people like you.
I'm like, that looks so good, but I just gained 10 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. I can feel my thighs getting fatter just looking at a bag of chips.
One thing I thought was weird is like, yeah, my waist may be slim, but apparently I'm actually pretty close to be classified as overweight, because I think it was, last time I weighed myself was 166.
Oh yeah, it's really weird how they have that average. Like I did my physical not too long ago, and like I think based on my height, I'm supposed to be like below 170, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. So
For me, I was supposed to be around like 150, like between 150 and 140, just somewhere around there. And then I weighed myself and I was like 166. I'm like, wait, what?
yeah,
And then I just kind of looked it up online, and it's just like, oh, here's a basic rule of thumb. Even though you may be weighing more than you should be weighing, measure out your waist, and if it's higher than 35 inches, then you consider the overweight. And it's like, oh, 29, okay, I'm good.
yeah, no kidding. When you said you had a 29-inch waist, I was like, yeah, I don't really think you would constitute as being obese.
No. I guess I did have a little bit of training because I actually did have a waist slimming belt that I was wearing all the time when I was in Arizona.
Mhm.
That actually contributed to actually slimming it down even more.
Oh, I can imagine that, coupled with you sweating so much in Arizona. Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's also because I actually did just like basic like push-ups and sit-ups. Like there'll be a few times where it's like, I'm bored, I'm gonna do push-ups and sit-ups. And so I did that, and I think I probably built up some muscle mass. That's why I actually weigh a lot more than I should.
Okay, so you probably have a good amount of muscle that's contributing to your weight there.
Probably.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense then. Yeah, I bet once you got your BMI...
No, it said my BMI was like 22, and it's like, you had to be 25 to be classified as overweight. And I'm like, oh
okay.
crap, this is not cool. And then I just like kind of looked at the notes and disclaimers and all that, and it's just like, just so you know that athletic people that have higher muscle mass tend to weigh more than what you should be wearing. And so it's like, here's a rule of thumb. If your waist is 35 inches or higher, then you're overweight. Like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, you're safe. Is there any advice that you want to pass on to people who will potentially be listening, which will probably just be the DA Kisekai community? Is there anything that you want to pass along to them, like, hey, don't do this, or don't do drugs, things like that?
Winners don't use drugs. Sorry, I'm just being like 1980s arcade.
Exactly. Remember seeing that at the beginning of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade machine.
First time I saw was when the Battletoads arcade game. That's when I first saw it. Which, by the way, is a good game. Still hard, but great game.
Excellent game.
If there was anything I want to like warn, because I know a lot of the members of the fan club is actually going to be listening to this, so I'm just saying, make sure you choose the right folder when submitting artwork, because there's a few times they submit to the wrong folder, and I just like, I'll still accept it, but I'm just going to move it over here. But there's been a few times where they submitted to the wrong folder, and I'm like, I have to go through all these and move it over to the right folder, move these into that folder. This one's okay, move that one to the other folder.
When I first joined the group, you had just taken over the leadership role of the group. And I did that, and I was dead afraid that you were going to ban me or something, because I did that with like 12 submissions. And
for the most part, I really don't care, because I can just like, I got time, I can just move all this stuff around to the right folder. But I still like urging people to like, please, right folder, please.
Yeah, that was the message that I got back from you. It was just like, please put everything in the right folder, and I was like, oh god, I haven't even been here for a week, and I'm already breaking shit.
Because I do manage. There's another group I actually do. I'm actually another manager, although I'm just a co-founder, so I just kind of help out with the founder.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was the founder for that one because the old one stepped down. He wanted to go do more personal stuff, and so he asked me to be the founder. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. This is actually my first time being a founder for something, so I thought it was great. But then it just feel like I don't really have time to do this either. But I can step down and just be a co-founder to assist the other founder, and so I just gave him the privilege, and I just went to co-founder, and so I'm helping out with that one. Oh my god, there's so many artwork that gets submitted to that group that I actually have to organize it and put it to the right folders, because a lot of people are just like, oh no, I put it on the right folder. Well, why isn't it in this one then? I don't know.
Well, there you have it, everyone. Please, when you submit things, put them into the appropriate folder. Don't just click on the group and then just immediately say submit, because then it goes straight into featured, I think.
I actually closed down the feature, so you can't really put anything on there. I'm trying to remember which one it automatically goes to, because I think it does it by alphabetical order. So when it automatically does it, I think it goes to the age pro regression.
Oh, okay.
So,
So I'm
when
guessing that one gets a lot of submissions.
yeah, there's a few of them where they actually get some, like, just some random submissions, and it's like right now, I'm looking at it right now, there's actually a few of them that don't belong in here. like this one right here. I'm gonna move that one over. Let's do that one. Okay, this one. I'll move that one to right here. And so far so good. Okay, just 2. Okay, we're at good standing now. It's just 2.
Good, that wasn't too bad. But there you go, people. Take the extra time. Pick the right folder.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey guys, just wanted to throw in a quick commercial break in between segments to remind you, the listener, yes, you, I can see you. Please remember to join Joshua White and Rachel Bredd on the KisekaeCast this Sunday, October 19th, 2014. If you're on Google+, add your good pal Joshua into your circles, and you'll be invited to each live recording of the KisekaeCast. Please, guys, please, 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 be there.
Konnichiwa.
Ohio gozaimasu.
There's that little clown.
Speak English.
Show me the
Nice.
lambs. Show me the lambs, Claris.
We'll just roll right into it with that. Okay, so this is the KisekaeCast After Hours podcast, episode 1, and this is kind of a shorter community segment. And Dengeki is basically the star of this episode. Every single episode of the After Hours podcast will have a star guest. So Dengeki is my episode 1 star guest. So I welcome Dengeki back.
Everyone bow before your master.
Wow.
Okay, so my
She must be pretty important.
We are not worthy, master.
my ego's been inflated. I'm good.
Screw you, master.
There'll be an uprising after this hangout.
Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Jess.
I go by Jess. Hi.
So, for right now, what we're going to do is I want to talk to you guys about what were you guys afraid of when you were kids or when you were younger? What were you terrified of
Man.
since it's Halloween?
Man, I
I
have a lot.
was afraid
A
of
lot?
dolls. I'm still kind of terrified of like silhouette things, but I was terrified of dolls. I was afraid of dolls.
Oh, dolls.
And puppets, everything like that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, I used to be afraid of vampires, but since they have become so pussified nowadays, not really afraid of them anymore.
Yeah, they really have. Are you talking about like the black and white movie vampires?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Bela Lugosi vampires.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, Nosferatu and all that.
Yeah, that one really scared me. That movie still scares me to this day, even though it's just a silent film.
Then you know that the movie's good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for me personally, I was always terrified of Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
And,
is that right? I could say my fear when I was a child?
Yeah, go for it.
Animatronics like the ones from Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, really?
Don't show him Five Nights at Freddy's.
No kidding.
Oh, no. I gotten used to them until Five Nights at Freddy's came back, which I just got scared of them all over again.
Oh, that's brutal.
Whenever I was like little, me and my cousins would like go into the laundry room in the basement, and we would like tell stories and stuff, and we like camp out in there. And I was so like scared of the dark in there. So, just like for a couple of seconds, whenever they turn the lights off, I just go running upstairs. Like, I see ya.
Basically scared of the dark then?
Yep.
I think we all kind of share that
just
though.
used to it. Wasn't really afraid of anything whenever I was little.
For me,
That's surprising.
And clowns.
No, clown?
Clowns in the dark. Those are two things I was terrified of when I was little.
Is this on? Okay, this is on. I can see that shit happening.
You're on.
Actually, do you know what's funny? I never was scared of clowns. I don't know why they were scary in the first place, to me.
My aunt was always afraid of clowns. It's just a phobia. Like, not everybody's afraid of dolls, and I was terrified of them.
I probably had like the worst thing ever as a child. I was afraid of dogs, so I had like the worst time going out like 90% of the time because if I saw a dog, no.
Why?
Nope.
Why?
I don't know. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I couldn't go near dogs. I was terrified.
My grandmother's afraid of birds, and I own one, so...
Oh my god, so she doesn't come by.
Well, she's like, I like your bird, I just don't like when she flutters. And I was like, well, she loves you.
I used to have nightmares. Chucky came literally from hell, and then he would actually stuff me in a animatronic suit. That's Chucky.
That's an amazing dream. I'm amazed.
Yeah, that's pretty elaborate, man.
It also sounds fucking terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. Although, by the way, if you've just joined, you might want to hit reload, because I had to do that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Google+. I tried doing the other Hangout, and I don't know why. It wouldn't load. Nothing was working at all, and so then I started the second one, and I don't know, for some reason this one worked. So, you know what? Fuck Google+ right now. I'm mad.
I'm a bit of an IT geek.
Fuck it in the ass!
Server shit happened, and then they couldn't host it properly. Yeah.
Fuck it right in the ass.
Yeah. Alright, well. So that about covers it for childhood fears, guys. That
I got one more.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys heard of this game. It's called Manhunt.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I know it.
Alright. Yeah. Through most of the game, it wasn't really that creepy to me, but then I got to the end, and then I met Pigsy.
Oh my god, yeah. That was scary, man.
Yes.
How old were you when you played Manhunt?
I think I was about maybe 12.
Holy shit.
I was just walking down the hall, trying to find start or some shit. Next thing you know, this motherfucker comes running out of nowhere with a motherfucking chainsaw.
Mm-hmm. That game terrified me.
And you wanna know what the scariest part about Pigsy is? He's fucking naked.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
No, you're fine. Glad you could join.
I just had a little bit of a delay, that's all.
It's okay. You're cool.
Hope you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, very much.
Yep.
Yeah, my computer's got built-in microphone.
Then it should be pretty fine, because those usually, although they're not the best, they work usually.
Oh, what did I miss?
Well, we were talking about childhood fears. Do you have any childhood fears that you want to talk about?
I was used to be afraid of the dark, but not much anymore.
Was there any like movie monster or some kind of a phobia? Like me personally, I'm terrified of spiders, even small spiders. I scream like a girl when I see one.
Well, not much of fear of spiders, but my older sister hates them. I'm terrified of them. I think I remember one time she told me to come around and kill it or something.
I have this natural instinct that whenever I come across a spider, because I'm scared to turn away from it, because if I turn away, it's going to disappear, right? And then now I'll never know where it's at. That's what always happens. So my natural instinct is A, I scream, and then B, I punch it. And it's resulted in many bruised, almost broken knuckles. And I'm not trying to say that like, oh, I'm so manly and I'm so tough. I mean, like, I will punch it out of sheer fright, and I don't care how bad it would hurt as long as I kill the damn thing. That's all I care about. Or obviously I'll kick it if I can get my foot up that high, but...
Well, at least you're ending its life shortly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, in my summer camp when I was younger, you see, my boys were complete idiots. And they were complete assholes too. So once they found the daddy longlegs just minding its own business outside, guess what? They decide to pick it up and pull its legs one by one until it dies.
Ouch.
That's awful.
Exactly.
That's really stupid as well.
I don't have any beef with daddy longlegs.
Daddy longlegs, if they were bigger, they'd be really deadly.
I heard that they're the most poisonous spiders, but due to their small fangs, they can't poison us.
Yeah. I recently had like a giant like orange spider like hanging out on my deck, and I left it there for like a week until my sister freaked out, and then I had to knock it down. I named it Kevin. I liked him. He was like the size of a quarter. Yeah.
Kevin the spider.
I forgot what I named it, but I named it some masculine name. I'm pretty sure it was a girl spider, maybe? I don't know.
That's the trouble with spiders, you can never tell.
Until she lays eggs. That happened to me once. It's terrible. They have like all these babies.
Oh my god.
That's why I knocked it down.
When I was in high school, I worked at a grocery store, and there was one day that I got off of work, and I walked out to my car, not paying any attention. I get into my car, I start it, and then I saw along the rooftop of my car, I saw these little dots that were moving, and as I was putting it into reverse and then looked up and saw the little specks moving around, I realized that they were baby spiders. So then I quickly put it into park, jumped out of my car, and I saw that a spider had laid 2 egg sacs along the inside of my car door frame.
2?
And two egg, yeah, exactly. And one of them hadn't hatched, obviously, but the other one had, and there were so many spiders just creeping around everywhere. And I jumped out of the car, and I was. Has anyone seen? I think it was Tommy Boy, where Chris Farley comes running out about the bees. Like, that's how I was acting. I was knocking all these little spiders off of me. Like, no, baby spiders everywhere.
No, not the spiders! Not the spiders!
I just watched that earlier today randomly.
Oh, guys. You guys ever seen this movie, I think it's called 8-Legged Freaks?
Yeah, I've seen that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that movie actually made spiders look badass.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, there's this one part where the spiders are chasing these guys down a hill on these motorcycles.
Have you ever seen the movie Arachnophobia?
I haven't.
Arachnophobia scared the crap out of me. That was like, I think in the early 90s. I had the dude from Roseanne, I forget his name. John Goodman. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the quiz segment of the show. A couple of you guys.
I was so sad I didn't join and get picked because I don't know much about horror. I don't know. I just watched so much PewDiePie that I used to, that I know about horror just because of that. Because I used to watch him back when he played horror, because that was just about the only time that he was actually really uninteresting to me.
Well, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this, was because I know a lot of people, especially in our little community, are really big into the Let's Plays, like with PewDiePie and Markiplier and...
Markiplier, oh my god.
Markiplier,
I don't watch him myself, but I watch him when, I don't know if you've heard of Cry. Has anyone heard of Cry?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I
just
Cry.
watch his videos.
If you've heard Cry, then I usually listen to him. I watch Cry a lot now. Lots of Cry. Valiant Hearts is his most recent, and I've been watching that, so yeah.
Yeah, I also I think his name is Storpy. I don't know if anyone's watched him.
No.
No, I never heard of him.
Oh, he gets easily scared of everything, and his wife will occasionally sneak up on him while he's playing a scary game, and she'll do something to him. And he has a night vision camera set up, so you're constantly getting all of his reactions, and his wife does terrible, damaging things to him that just destroy him while he's playing the game, and he'll quit.
That's hilarious. I didn't mention this, but you guys are talking a lot. But in the background, I've been playing Audio Surf this entire time.
Wait, what are you playing?
Audio Surf. Do you know what Audio Surf is?
No.
Audio Surf's god, it's complicated. If you don't know what it is, I don't know. It's basically like a kind of a rhythm game, I guess. It's
Oh.
a really weird one though. And I'm playing a song called Song of Storms DJ Asphyxia Remix. And that song is so good. Love it.
Maybe I'll add it into the podcast.
It's not the regular Song of Storms, of course, because that would just be really short and stupid.
Oh, okay.
I think like the Song of Storms. Okay, because I don't know why, because I had like a lot of spare time at some point. I looked up how long it was. It's like 23 seconds long, the original Song of Storms, I believe. I'm not sure. I think it's 23 seconds.
Well, I'm just curious. Have any of you are trying to join the Halloween contest for KiseCast?
Oh, I just put pictures on there. Yeah.
I'm leaving. Bye, guys.
See you, Jess.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
So sad to see you leave.
Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and get the ball rolling on the quiz. And like I was saying, for some of you who are just joining us, like Logan, welcome Logan. I don't know if you got your mic on or not.
Hi, Logan.
I forgot.
It's okay, buddy. Don't worry about it. So we have 3 contestants. Okay, our contestant number 1 is Dengeki Matsuko. Oh my god, really? Dengeki Matsuko. Sorry, man.
How dare you?
Damn! I'm gonna get banned from the group now. The second contestant is Chad Bradley.
Yours truly.
Yep. And the third contestant is Red Sniper. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run through 10 questions. They're all based on horror video games. If you guys know the answer, do not scream the answer before these guys have the opportunity to play. I will mute you if you scream the answer.
Yeah. Understandable.
Well, depending on the question, you might not even know what the answer is.
That's possible. I did make some of these a little tricky, so bear with me on some of them.
How
But
about,
I didn't want everybody to get 10 out of 10. Because some of them are kind of obvious too.
I was gonna say, as a safety precaution, how about everyone that's not participating just mute your microphone? So if you do get the urge to scream out the answer, we won't hear you.
Alright guys, so we're going to roll into question 1. And that is, we're talking Doom trivia. Okay, you guys familiar with the game Doom?
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Okay. Okay, so which of the following Easter eggs can be found in the video game Doom 3? A, an arcade cabinet allowing the player to play a variation of Street Fighter Alpha 3 called Super Turkey Puncher 3. B, like in the original Doom, there are decapitated heads of the developers, only this time the multiple heads can be found in toilets. Or C, in a portion of the Hell levels called Nirvana, a corpse can be found holding a shotgun, making a reference to Kurt Cobain. Which one of those is it? A, B, or C?
A.
Okay, Dengeki says A.
I'm gonna guess C?
Okay, and then Red Sniper, you said?
I said A.
A? Okay.
Yes.
The correct answer is A. There is an arcade cabinet called Super Turkey Puncher 3.
Why do you betray me, Doom?
Alright, guys. Okay, so question number 2. Now we're talking Dead Space. Alright, so which of the following weapons is not in the original Dead Space? Okay? Is it A, a Ripper, which is a gun that throws razor blades as projectiles? B, a pulse rifle, which is a military-grade machine gun? Or is it C, a negotiator, which is a gun that combines both the Tesla beam weapon and the line gun? Which one of those 3 is not a weapon from the original Dead Space?
I don't even know the answer to that.
Me neither.
I'm gonna
I don't
guess.
even play the games.
Wait,
I
what
don't
was
play
number?
either.
Wait, what was B again?
B is a pulse rifle. It's a military-grade machine gun.
I don't play Dead Space, but I'm gonna guess B.
B? Okay. Dengeki, Chad?
I'll guess C.
Okay.
And Dengeki?
B.
B? Alright, the correct answer is C.
Yes!
The Negotiator. It's, that gun is actually in Dead Space 3. The other two are actually in Dead Space 1. Alright guys, question 3. This is from Resident Evil 2. So, by beating all 6 of the game's scenarios and completing them with A ranks, the player unlocks what secret character? Is it A, a playable chunk of tofu, properly named Tofu? B, a huskier version of the mercenary named Hunk that goes by the name Chunk, playing on the developer's love for the movie The Goonies, and the character by the same name, Lawrence Chunk Cohen? Or is it C, a playable naked zombie that only carries a knife and is incapable of dying? So by beating all 6 of the game's scenarios with an A rank, what secret character do you unlock? Is it A, Tofu, B, Chunk, or C, a naked zombie?
The first Resident Evil, right?
This is in the second one.
Oh, I think it's A, the Tofu.
It's been a while since I played RE2, but I'm gonna guess B.
Okay, Dengeki?
A.
Alright, the correct answer is A, guys.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Alright, so, moving on. The next one is about the game Amnesia. Okay, so the enemies of the game are called the Gatherers. What are the different types of Gatherers that you face? Is it A, Grunts and Brutes, Grunts being weaker and more common, and Brutes being able to kill you in one hit? Is it B, Grunts, Jackals, Brutes, and Hunters, each stronger than the other and more rare? Or is it C, Imps and Demons?
I'm gonna guess with A, Grunts and Brutes.
Okay. Dengeki, Red Sniper?
I'm going for B.
Say B.
B? Okay, the correct answer is A, guys.
Yeah.
Grunts and Brutes. B actually comes, those enemies come from the game Halo. And
So-
then C, those enemies come from Doom. Okay, so the next question is based on Eternal Darkness on the GameCube. Which of the following is a sanity effect used to trick the player when their sanity meter runs low? Is it A, a message that the GameCube is experiencing a disk read error and the sound of a disk grinding comes from the speakers, tricking the player into thinking that the system is destroying the game? B, a message telling the player that the controller is unplugged and the player must switch to controller port 2? Or is it C, a message appears on the screen congratulating the player for completing the demo?
I'm gonna guess B.
Okay. Dengeki?
A.
Okay, guys. Yeah, the answer was C. I'm sorry. That was tricky because not a lot of people that I know have played Eternal Darkness. So.
I have.
I know that A is a thing in the game though, because my friend told me about how stupid this game is, and that it really likes to fuck with the player.
There is a very similar sanity effect to A, but I elaborated on it saying that.
Or is it like a blue screen of death or something weird?
Yeah, you get a blue screen error that basically says your GameCube is trashed.
That's what I saw, yeah.
Alright, guys. So we're about halfway through. Dengeki, you're at 2 points. Chad, you're at 3. Red Sniper, you're at 1. Okay? Let me know if I'm off on this, but I think I'm keeping good track.
You're keeping good track.
Okay. Alright, so the next game, this one's gonna get this one's even more elusive. And that's Clock Tower.
Oh
game
god,
Clock Tower.
that series! Do you know how many nightmares I had playing the PlayStation 1, the first the first one from the PlayStation, technically
get-
from the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, you might get this one then. Okay. So, Clock Tower trivia. Which of these listed villains is from the Clock Tower series and was influenced by a children's story? Is it A, hill dwarf, which is a twisted rendition of the Brothers Grimm tale Snow White and the Huntsman? This dwarf is a vile culmination of the unnamed dwarves from the original tale, randomly appearing and scaring the player. Is it B, Scissorman, based on a Victorian-era book where children were punished for sucking their thumbs by having them cut off by a boogeyman named the Scissor Man?
Jesus.
Or is it C, the Tower Troll? From the book Outside Over There, this murderous troll was inspired by the cloak-wearing troublesome trolls in that book.
B, definitely B, the Scissor Man.
Yeah, I remember Scissor Man, so I say B.
Dengeki?
B.
Chad, you may have given you may have given everybody the answer there.
I'm sorry, it's not my fault that I.
Oh, I already knew. I already knew what it was.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you were so so gung ho on that answer, and you were the first one to say it.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the fact that that game is burned into my mind for the rest of eternity.
All right, guys, moving on. So the next question is Castlevania trivia.
Yes, I should know this one.
This is gonna get tricky, okay?
Yeah, I know. I played almost every Castlevania. ROMs, emulators, Cat, Symphony of the Night. You know it. Just please tell me. I know.
Alright, which of the following facts is true about the reoccurring enemies in the Castlevania series? A. The demonic enemy Malachi is based off of the deformed child actor of the same name in the horror film Children of the Corn. B. Bitterflies, that's bitter flies, are based on ancient Japanese mythological birds that have hilariously huge human heads and use their large ears to fly? Or is it C, the ballroom ghost dancers each have their own name, Killin' Bacon and Laurie Slaughter, parodies of the Footloose stars Kevin Bacon and Laurie Singer? So, which of the following facts is true about the reoccurring enemies in this series?
B.
B.
I'll say B.
You guys are all correct. Bitterflies.
You see, I played Symphony of the Night enough to remember.
I played
That's
board
good,
games
that's
Symphony
good.
of the Night.
You know what's sad? Like, what's sad is the only Castlevania game I've ever played was Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest.
Of all the Castlevania games.
I was young and stupid, okay?
I was just experimenting.
You know, Castlevania 2 just ruined the whole thing for me.
Alright guys, you got 2 more questions and then the bonus question, and the scores are close enough that you guys could evenly match. Alright, so the next one is System Shock 2.
System Shock.
This is an old one. It's an older game. So, and this is going to be tricky. I don't know if you guys are going to get this one. Before the 3rd year of your player's training at the beginning of the game, you can look through a window and see what Easter egg. You see A tamed rumbler, which is an enemy, wearing a butler suit and carrying a drink platter.
Sounds
Is it B, a pixelated poster of the 90s buxom actress Pamela Anderson? Or is it C, a robot dancing performing the Macarena?
I'm gonna guess C.
B.
I'm gonna say A.
Alright, Chad, you got it. It was C.
Yay!
Oh, no, Pam.
Alright, guys. This is the last of the game questions, and then we're going to have a bonus question. So, this is based on the game Fatal Frame 2.
Fatal Frame 2.
Yes. In the game Fatal Frame 2, you only have one weapon at your disposal. Is it A, the Necronomicon, a book of the dead that, when used, can cast various spells against certain ghost types? Is it B, Camera Obscura, an antique camera that can photograph and dispel spirits? Or is it C, the Poltergust 3000, a device created by EGAD that can swallow up ghosts?
I think it's B.
Well, I know it's not C, so I'm gonna say B.
Okay.
B.
Alright, you guys are all correct. It is a camera.
Yay.
I made that one a little easy.
I remember the Poltergust 3000 from Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah. I had a feeling that if you were going to be in the game show, you'd pick that one up pretty quick. Alright guys, so right now the points are sitting at Dengeki having 5, Chad has 7, and Red Sniper, you're sitting at 4. Now, unfortunately, the bonus question is only worth 2 points. So, Red Sniper, I don't think you're going to win this one, buddy. But it was good having you on, man. So this is between Dengeki and Chad. Alright, the bonus question is Kisekai related. Alright? No cheating on this and opening the game.
I'm not.
In the background selection of the game, there exists a Halloween-themed background. Which of the following things is not in that background? Is it a large castle, A, B, a flock of bats, or C, a witch on a broomstick?
I think it's C.
C.
I think it's
C. You guys all got it right. Chad, you're the winner, buddy.
Yeah!
I kind of knew I was going to lose this one.
Congratulations, Chad. So you have a choice. I can either buy you a monthly membership for DA, or I can send you DA points of the same value. Or if you don't want any of that and you want to gift it to somebody, I can gift it to whoever you want me to. So
a monthly account, please.
Alright, man. I'll take care of that later today.
Thank you so much. I'll probably finally get recognized as a KisekaeFans member.
Like Weezer.
I could have so used that.
Oh man, I'm sorry. But on the bright side, the next time, if the next community segment, if I do some kind of game show or something, you know, you can always participate in that. Chad, I'm sorry, man, but you won't be able to participate in the next one. You got to give the opportunity to the other people. Oh my God! Is that Sophie's dog?
Yeah.
Alright guys, well, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about before we wrap up the show? Anything new going on?
Did I really get here like the last few minutes?
Hopefully I will.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll make something for treat for the Halloween contest, because I have me with 3 other girls. My 3 other girls. Have you heard of them? Emily, Isabella, and Judith.
I have not, but you did remind me. Just a heads up to you guys, and then whoever's listening afterward.
Wait, I have something to say to Dengeki. I have something to say.
Something. What is this something?
Your icon, it kind of looks like a boy.
Well, it's short hair though. But once you see the full picture, you'll think otherwise.
She's very convincing.
I want to say 2 things. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
One, you guys should probably check out my latest pictures on DeviantArt. They're pretty cool, I'd say.
Self-advertising right there.
Yeah. Plug away, guys. If you want to plug your work, if you want to plug YouTube page, whatever you want to plug, go for it.
You should just check out everything I've ever made. Go ahead.
Oh my God!
I just had to put in the other thing. Did you guys enjoy my ghost story from the KiseCast thing?
Yes,
very much.
I don't remember it. I was probably busy at that time.
You should go back and listen.
Let me give you the short version. It's basically this ghost chick comes and basically gives this guy a blowjob.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
I remember Rachel. She talked about ghost sex, right?
Yeah, because I was originally going to be on that episode of the KiseCast, and I put that on there because there was this Brazilian actress, and I was going to tell everyone the story and see what they thought of it. This Brazilian actress claimed that for years upon years she's been having sex with a ghost in her house.
Sounds like bullcrap.
Right, exactly, and like. For some reason, the tabloids picked it up just because she's a model and an actress and she's hot, and they were asking her husband like, "How do you feel that your wife is cheating on you with a ghost?" And he was like, "Well, okay."
What sense does that make?
Crazy.
Wow. How could somebody fall for that?
I don't know, man. I was gonna get everyone's opinion on ghost sex.
I personally think she just did it for publicity and shit.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
I know, but how can you fall for that?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone fell for it. I just think it was like a story, and I was just like, alright, okay. There's some people that are crazy enough to believe that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so...
People ate it up. You know, there are some people that they're really firm believers that ghosts are all around them, so those people were like, oh yeah, you could definitely have sex with a ghost, it's very believable.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that believe everything, so...
Yes, and I have a name for those people.
Crazy.
Oh, I was thinking more of the lines of, fucking morons.
Accurate.
Very accurate indeed.
I mean, like, there are people that don't believe the Holocaust happened, or like Hurricane Sandy.
What?
I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me.
What the fuck?
What? I can't, my brain can't process through the stupidity.
Have got to be fucking kidding me.
No, there really are people. You should just do a Google search on Holocaust deniers. It's absurd.
The one thing I really hate is people that still don't believe the Confederates lost the war.
What?
The South will rise again.
I'm back.
Hey, DBZ. You also have that comment that you didn't reply to.
Which one?
I paid $5.
Ah.
You know, messing with your characters, part 2.
I know the one, yeah. I'll get to that.
Right, thank you.
I'll get right on that.
5 years later.
Also, I'm going to learn Japanese.
Good for you.
I barely know Spanish, and that's my second language.
You guys want to know something funny?
What's that?
This is kind of embarrassing, but I failed Spanish class twice.
I did too. Well, actually, I almost did. I got 70s, and in my family, a 70 is close enough to failing. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, I failed Spanish twice, but I passed French on my first go.
What?
Yeah, I didn't take Spanish in 6th grade, so when I went in 7th and 8th grade, I didn't know what was going on. I just kind of was like, fuck. And I bullshitted my way through it, and when I went off to high school, it was kind of just like, wow, it just got easy, and then I failed still, so.
This is so easy, I don't even have to try, fail. Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and put an end to this episode. It's gone on long enough.
Aww.
I'm sorry.
I've been here for
There's
like
always
10
the
minutes.
KisekaeFans on Sunday. What's up?
If I could join you on time.
Yo, I'm going
What
biking
time at
tomorrow.
UCT?
Everybody
For
say
Sundays?
Everybody,
Yeah.
Oh my god, Sophie.
everybody say bye to the puppy because puppies are nice.
Puppies are nice. Bye,
Puppies
puppy.
are nice,
Bye,
sweet,
Bye,
Bye to the
adorable,
puppy.
best friends.
Okay.
Goodbye, puppy.
Bye to the puppy.
Alright, and with that, I just want to say one last thank you to the episode 1 special guest, Dengeki Matsuko. Thank you so much for being the star of this episode. If you have any last words, throw them out there.
Gobbledygook, and my head hurts.
Excellent, and that puts the end to episode 1 of the KiseCast After Hours podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining.
I actually had one more thing I wanted to say before I go.
What's that?
I just want to say, I love booty.
And that will be added into the show, guys.